Hey everybody, welcome back to Critics Play Games. We have a special edition and episode today. It's only me here, but I rounded out some of the coolest critics out there to talk some games today. Now, of course, Christian and Leo aren't here. They'll be back very soon, but today's critics I'm going to be introducing very soon. Right after this intro, we're going over best games to play on Halloween. And I'm telling you right now, some of these are going to be some awesome picks. So let's roll that intro and then bring everyone in. And we are back. So, bringing in people now. Of course, my name is Zach. I'm one of the most resident people over here on Critics Play Games. Next, we have one of our guests coming to the channel for the first time. Austin is here. Austin, how you doing?
Dude, that was a kick-ass intro. Holy shit.
Man. Thanks, dude. Made it for fun. I love it.
Damn,
the music's actually still a placeholder. I have a friend who's working on the music right now.
Okay.
He's trying to do an 8-bit style for it. So
it's good shit, man. I was like, damn, I'm into some legit shit over here.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Well, thanks for joining us. Next, we have Brett from BAM. Oh, I can't see him. Brett, can we hear you, though?
Oh, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Okay. We can hear you.
Yeah.
We just can't see you, but that's fine.
Just
How you doing,
behind
man?
the scenes in the shadows. I'm fantastic. I'm happy to be here. Excited to be a part of this and looking forward to hearing everybody's lists.
Hell yeah. And last but not least is Patrick Burrow from Down Under. How you doing, Patrick?
G'day, guys. It's amazing to be here. And I'm going to go on what Austin said before about the intro song. I'm just, like, while it was playing, I was sitting there just doing, like, these little dance moves. I was just like, oh, fuck yeah.
My jaw dropped going like, fuck, that's legit.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, this is going to be a fun time, guys. Obviously, we're talking best games to play on Halloween. Some of these might be a little unconventional. So if you guys are watching us, make sure to comment down below your guys' top 10 Halloween games. And also, if you're listening to us on any sort of audio device, make sure to follow, rate, all sorts of things like that. Share your thoughts and also tweet at us at Critics Play Pod. That way we can hear your guys' thoughts as well. So let's get started into this, guys. So how this is going to work, I'm going to go over my bottom 5. Austin's going to do his bottom 5. Brett's going to do his bottom 5. Patrick's going to do his bottom 5. And then we're going to get into the nitty gritty on our top 5, like actually going into intense detail on those. So I'll start it out with my bottom 5. And at number 10, it is PT. I know it's not in a full game. I know some people can't even play it anymore. I still have it on my PS4. It is on a hard drive, and I refuse to get rid of it. I love that game. It's still one of the scariest experiences I've ever gone through. At my number 9, Until Dawn. I've played it once, probably will never play it again. Scared the absolute shit out of me, and I was very frustrated that when at the end of the game I had everyone alive and I made one choice and killed everyone but one person. Number 8 is Bloodborne. A little bit unconventional, but the vibe, the aesthetic, all that sorts of stuff. Frustrating game, but it's spooky, it's scary, and I love Bloodborne. Number 7, I almost put this in my top 5, but it was very hard not to. And my number 7 is Evil Within. 1 or 2.
Ooh,
I love these worlds. I love these characters. I love the monstrosities in here. The first one I think is more scary than the second one, but the second one is an overall better game in my opinion. And at my number 6, Resident Evil 4. Best Resident Evil game of all time. I love this game to death. I really want to get the VR because the VR looks freaking sick. I don't know if you guys have seen the gameplay.
So much fun.
I want to play that.
So, but yeah, at my number 6. Austin, what's your bottom 5, man?
All right, so starting off with my number 10, you mentioned Until Dawn. I'm going to go with Dark Pictures Little Hope. I really enjoyed that game. As a person who is in love with the Salem Witch Trials and The Witch, I was like, whoa. And I'm actually streaming Little Hope on my YouTube channel next Saturday night, so I'm actually really excited about that. Number 9, we're gonna go with Condemned Criminal Origins. On my
that's
end.
A great one.
I started replaying it recently. The atmosphere. I mean, the graphics don't look as good holding up, but it has such a creepy mood to it. Knowing you're the FBI investigator going against something, and the melee combat's fucking brutal to say the least. Number 8, this is gonna be the one where you guys are like, what? Let me explain, though. It's Lollipop Chainsaw.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yep. If you just want good old zombie killing B movie fun, and it's written by James Gunn, enough said. It is so much fucking fun. It's gory as hell, and it just pumps you up full of energy. It's just a fun zombie game, enough said. Number 7, Bloodborne, actually.
Okay.
I love HP Lovecraft stuff. It's my favorite out of all the Soulsborne games. And let me tell you, I cannot tell you how many hours I've played this game, but at least over 150 to 200 right there. Then number 6, I'm going to go with Resident Evil 7, the most underloved game out of the franchise, I think. The way how they play into the first-person perspective, I thought was genius, feeling like Texas Chainsaw Massacre meeting Resident Evil, I guess you could say. But no, I think it's scary as hell, especially when that asshole father chases after you for the first time.
Oh,
that jump scare gets me to this day. But
the jump scares that get me is when the mom jumps out the window and grabs you.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I screamed.
I laughed. That entire section with the mother was just funny to me. I found Resident Evil 7 more funny than scary at all. Yeah.
Well, we're not all like you, Patrick. We don't
Apparently
like
not
monsters.
hardened criminals.
Oh my
Love
god.
being terrified.
When Jack burst through the wall the first time, I went, Jesus Christ!
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. Scary stuff.
Yeah.
Brett, now let's hear your top 5 or bottom 5, man.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So coming at my number 10 pick, I know nobody likes a cheater. I know with these top 10 lists, top 5 lists, everybody hates the one person that's like, I'm going to say every Resident Evil game. So I do have a bit of a cheat here, but that's why I left that at number 10. And it's just sort of a general, almost genre. And that is just any co-op zombie shooter. So like your COD zombies, Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, World
Call
War
of Duty
Z.
zombies, all that.
Yeah.
Black Ops Zombies almost made it onto my list.
Yeah, so any game that you can grab a group of buddies with and just have endless hours of zombie mayhem fun, good pick for a Halloween night.
Damn, now
number 9.
I didn't put Dead Rising in my list at all, and I should.
I came very close.
Damn, I didn't put that
Dead
at all.
Rising's
That's a
another good
shout out
pick,
for
too.
me because I love Dead Rising, the whole franchise.
Honorable mention.
Dead Rising
Yeah.
rules.
Number 9, I have Slender Man: The Arrival. Really into the Slender Man games, but
Okay.
man, those games they're low budget, but damn, they're creepy as hell, and they get me every
That
time.
original one,
Love
man.
them.
That original one.
Nuts. I know.
Yeah, really good.
So good. And number 8 is another one, little indie horror that could, as some people could say. And the Five Nights at Freddy's games, they're so much fun to play. Halloween nights, scare the shit out of you.
I
Total
came
blast.
so close to putting the second one on my list.
Oh, they're so much fun. They're
So
so
good.
simple, but so damn effective. I love them.
Yeah.
Number 7, I'm assuming the rest of you will have it somewhere higher up, but for me, just barely got edged out, and that's Dead Space 2. Just the Dead Space
wow.
in my mind, horror classic.
Damn.
It's so good. Love it. Great atmosphere, amazing jump scares. Love it.
That's your number
And
7. What the fuck is your top 5?
my number 5 is going to be a bit weird, I think,
Okay.
compared to your guys. But number 6, and this is just for me as a diehard zombie fan of any medium, I'm putting my favorite zombie game, and that's Dying Light. Dying Light, I love. I can play any time of year, but I find
Still
just
haven't
the
played
lighting
it.
and the atmosphere. Really? Shit, man.
I've got
so
it.
good.
I just haven't gotten around to playing it because my PlayStation, whenever I boot it up, sounds like it's gonna fly.
It sounds like
will,
a
but
fucking
it-
jet plane.
So
sound.
much fun.
does.
So much fun. No, highly recommended then, my friend. But
Alright.
yeah, my favorite zombie
Yeah.
game, and it definitely it captures everything about the sort of fall Halloween atmosphere that I love. So it's always good to jump into.
Okay, awesome. Patrick, take it away, man.
Okay, so first of all, to disappoint the three of you, no Dead Space game will make it onto my list.
You
And I'm so
son
sorry.
of a bitch.
I'm so sorry.
Garbage.
But Brett and I actually had a few very similar ones. At number 10, Slender the 8 Pages, the
There we
first
go.
indie
Nice.
game.
Okay.
Every single time you're walking through, you have to worry about the darkness. You've got the flashlight that's running out of battery. Every time you collect a page, he's getting closer. It's getting more ambient. Me and my friends
Very
would
good.
play it together all the time in the dark with like pizza. And it's just the perfect Halloween experience with your friends. And it's just terrifying.
For
At
sure.
number 9, Five Nights at Freddy's 4, a game that actually has a Halloween feature. If you boot it up in Steam, you can actually have a Halloween theme to it. But like it was the only game out of the series to really go away from like the security aspect.
That's the house
Had
one,
this-
right?
Yeah, with the
See, I've
deeper
never
level.
played that one.
I've
only
always been
played
a
the first
fan.
two, so
I've always been a fan of like games that really rely on sound cues and like
Oh,
the
yeah.
breathing,
Yeah,
closing
for
the door,
sure.
creepy shit. At number 8, a fun game to play with your friends, Phasmophobia. Just the
I haven't
whole
played that
paranormal
game.
I haven't played it
Oh,
either.
so good.
Oh, I've been told so many good things about it.
I've spent way too many hours with my mates and I either taking it seriously or fucking around with the ghost and everything, just like throwing it across and everything and just walking throughout the house, finding the Ouija board. It's just so much fun to do like this whole paranormal investigation thing with your friends, but it's also incredibly terrifying at the same time. Number 7. I don't know if any of you would have heard of this, but Among the Sleep, indie horror game.
Yeah, I have
From the
played it.
perspective of a little baby where you're going throughout the house and it just becomes weirder, more demented and creepier as you go along. And there's just this really unsettling undertone to the entire game with some very weird art style that adds towards the creepy factor. And at number 6, I had to put them two together because they're the perfect like games that play right after each other. The two Little Nightmare games and also their DLCs, if you want to include them. I haven't been this terrified playing a platforming horror game in my life, especially Little Nightmares 2 this year, where there were those mannequin things that reminded me of the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who. Those little those shits terrified the crap out of me. I was stuck on that section for well over an hour and a half. I loved it.
Okay.
I still have to beat the first game. I haven't gotten to the second game yet.
Oh,
I still need to play them at all. They look awesome.
I
the
have them,
first
have not
game
played
is
them.
scary, man.
So there's one that you guys, I think a lot of you guys mentioned was Five Nights at Freddy's, and I've played the first two, and I remember the first time I ever played those. I think it was the first one when Foxy gets introduced.
Oh god!
And I'm doing the rooms, and I turn to camera, and I see him sprinting.
You just
And because they don't, you never see him move. You never see him move. So when I see this fucking thing sprint past the camera, I nearly shit my pants. I remember.
What about the second game where he leaps out of the hallway into your face?
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's really good. Bring on the movie, man. Bring on that.
Honestly,
that movie
so sad
bad.
Chris Columbus left as director there.
Yeah, that's not a good choice. But hopefully they get someone else. It's time to get into the top 5 now, though. Patrick, kick us off with number 5, and then we'll kind of all have a conversation about it, and then we'll go to Brett next.
Cool.
Number 5, The Evil Within 2. Now, I don't like the first game. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun action game, but I don't think it's a good survival horror game. Though it was never really scary to me. The weird visuals are cool, and the whole thing with Ruvik is just too convoluted for my own liking, which is why I'm glad that they really dropped that in the second game. But also the whole 30 frames a second sort of FPS lock really hinders upon like the gameplay experience. But Evil Within 2 upped it so much. It had a more open world feel to it, especially in that third chapter, which was just brilliant in my opinion. Those segments in the game as well, where you have like, I don't remember what it's called, but you like get transported to like a different almost realm, and it's like really cold and misty, and you have like that little bitch, that ghost bitch, just going and it's just like the creepiest crap trying to sneak around her. But the whole crafting ammo situation, you're also more scarce with your resources in this. And it's like, this is, I think, what Shinji Mikami meant to make when he wanted to do a love child of his Resident Evil games, making a new survival horror series. This is what the first game should have been. Better story, better gameplay, better scares, in my opinion. It was just perfect. It was perfect, in my opinion.
Okay, sweet. Brett, do you have anything with Evil Within that you'd like to mention?
Not really, because I haven't played Evil Within 2. I played the first one. Took me forever to get through. I finally committed and got through the first one last year, and I have the second one. It's like sitting on my shelf, staring me in the face right now, yelling at me. I definitely got to get into it.
I liked it.
It's so good.
I've heard it's better too. Yeah, no, I definitely got to get into it. Maybe that'll be my Halloween game this
It's
year.
harder. It's harder.
Oh, it's a harder game. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait,
Right.
you guys think it's harder? I thought it was easier. In
That
my
third chapter, I was so scarce for ammo the entire time, and I was literally pulling a Joel, crouching, trying to grab my little cogs and everything the entire time because I couldn't find Jack.
Okay, fair enough. Austin, what about you? What's your experience with Evil Within 2? And if you have it on your list, you don't have to say anything.
I don't, but I will say this much. And it came very close. I mean, the first game I never beat because I found one part to be too fucking hard to say the least. I don't know what it was. The second one, I agree. Like, the second game, I was going because it's more of an open world setting in a way, but a lot of it I just found to be too difficult. I may have to go back into it, but it's a creepy ass game even within too. It's creepy.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys kind of already know my thoughts on it. Brett, kick us off with your number 5.
Sure. So it's actually already been mentioned earlier, and it was a tough one because it comes from a very well-known franchise, and it was difficult to choose just one. But for my number 5 pick, I'm going to go with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I love everything about that game. Like you guys said, it's a perfect blend of everything creepy and eerie about like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise mixed with a whole lot of the insane Resident Evil shit. The switch to first person perspective, I think, is what absolutely just took it to the next level for me. It's everything like I just said. It's creepy, it's eerie, the jump scares, all of them land. The boss fights I thought were great. I love the atmosphere, and I think they really knocked it out of the park. And then it led to them continuing down this line because we then got Resident Evil 8 Village, and I'm sure the 9th one will also be in the first person perspective. So it really ushered in a new era of Resident Evil, and I absolutely adored that about us.
Sweet. Patrick, any thoughts on this? I know you have some hot takes on the new Resident Evil games.
I don't like the Ethan Winters games. I hate them. I think
even though this motherfucker played 8 like 30 million times.
But that's because it was fun to speedrun and I wanted my platinum. And then I gave up because the Mercenaries was the only really difficult thing in that game. Trying to get the Mercenaries trophies, those S ranks, especially with the ones that are like the equivalent of, Shadows of Evil difficulty. But I don't think they're fun. I think the first person thing personally takes away the whole third person feeling lived in environment feel of Resident Evil, whether it's the fixed camera angles or like the Resident Evil 4, 2, 5. Fuck off 6. I don't care about you.
Yeah, we tried playing that one.
We played for one. We played like the first chapter of 6, and it's rough. It's awful. Zach and I were like, we'll play through it. No, never mind. I will say 5 is better as a co-op game, but I don't know. I don't like 7, don't like 8. That's just me personally, and I'm a massive RE fan. RE4 is my favorite video game of all time, and it makes me upset to say that.
Austin, what about you? What's your thoughts?
That came so close to being my top 5. It's just a fun, spooky atmosphere to it. It can be really tough. And by the way, I'm sure you guys know this. When you face Jack for the first time in the garage, get in that fucking car so you can run his ass over a million times.
Just get in straight away, and you'll win it in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, 8 Village, I thought was kind of disappointing in some ways, but I still really liked it as an action game. But 7 there are so many parts in 7 that legitimately still, the section where you go into, it's after you beat Marguerite and you're trying to go through that narrow bedroom. Yeah, it's after being Marguerite, you're going to that narrow bedroom. Oh my god, still freaks me out every time I play it to this day.
I will say that was a really, really awesome section of the game. Yeah. That entire Lucas section, I'm kind of biased on because, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna
like
leave
Saw,
that there.
Just a little bit.
I love
it. It's just a little like Saw.
Okay, so for me, I think 7 was a great. So if you take out that it's a Resident Evil game, I think it's a great standalone game. Because once it starts trying to tie in, it gets fucking stupid. That's just my opinion. Like Chris at the end, stuff like section. That. Yeah. For me though, the game peaked after you killed Margaret. After that, the game kind of fell flat. It wasn't as scary for me. I could really much push through. Her and Jack were terrifying.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
And they're actually the reason I've never replayed the game. I've only played it once. I refuse to play the game again because of them. They gave me anxiety. 8 is almost the same way because I liked 8 more. Have issues with the story. A lot of issues with how they did stuff with the story, but the gameplay. And then Patrick knows my frustration with that whole factory level. That was just
don't get me started on that.
The factory is actually my favorite section after every time I replay it.
Of course it would be.
You know what? Knife only playthrough is just running through the factory baiting the enemies was just so much fucking fun.
Oh, God, I hated that section. Went on for way too long.
That was for me the weakest part of the entire game, right?
Yeah.
There.
It was confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was just stupid. It was just dumb. again,
I watched Zach's entire stream where he was trying to get through the factory, and it was just him going, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" the entire time.
What happened when you get to the jetpack guys? I said, "Now they can fly." I literally said, "Now
they
they
fly
can fly."
now.
So
I forgot about that entire. Although
it's terrible.
House Benevito, don't get
Don't
me
even
started
get me
on
started.
that.
Don't even get me
That
started.
was one of
that
the scariest
section's
moments
great.
ever. Oh, I love
Patrick,
that.
you
section's
watched when I
great.
played that section, right?
Yeah,
On
I
Twitch?
was like, I literally jumped in. I'm like, oh, he's at this section. Fetus baby, fetus baby, fetus baby, fetus baby.
I probably could have beaten that section so much faster, but I didn't want to get to the baby, so I was taking my time, walking around every
Yeah.
corner, and then once all the lights shut off, I'm like, oh god.
The section's only 2 minutes long.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
reality.
short. It's very, very short. So,
I
but
wish there was more of it.
yeah, Resident Evil Man 7, I really enjoy it. Austin, what's your number 5?
Number 5 for me. All right, so let's go. We're gonna continue in the zombie genre. This is a game that I cannot tell you guys. Once again, like Bloodborne, just I've put in countless hours. I've played on so many consoles. It is Left 4 Dead 2.
Yes.
Left 4 Dead 2 is my favorite, almost my favorite zombie game of all time. Almost, it's it's actually my favorite cooperative shooter of all time.
Okay.
I think Back 4 Blood is a fun game, but Left 4 Dead 2 is just the pinnacle of zombie co-op, I think. Well, besides Dying Light, which Dying Light's fucking amazing.
Thank you.
It has the personality, yeah, right? The personality. If you have it on PC, mod the crap out of it because it makes the game even better. Enough said. The way that you're going through the campaigns, like it's a movie, the characters' personalities, it's tension filled, and the music in the game is so much fun. And every time you hear the hunter or that godforsaken witch character that makes you want to shit your pants when you come near him. By the way, mod it on PC, change it to Crash Bandicoot. It's the funniest thing. You get next to him and hear the roar, roar. You get next to him, you're like, he comes after you. It's the funniest thing.
The mods for Left 4 Dead 2 are the best mods I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I guess I should mention my number 5 because my number 5 is also Left 4 Dead.
No.
There you go.
So we can kind of just I'll start this one and then we'll kind of go back around to Brett and Patrick. I love Left 4 Dead. And I'm liking Back 4 Blood.
Yeah,
but it's just not the same.
It's
I don't know.
not.
Like I could play Left 4 Dead all the time by myself. Back 4 Blood, I'm only having fun when it's with a friend. And it sucks to say that because I really wanted to love it and I think it has great ideas. It's not grabbing my attention to come back and play it.
It's just not the same.
It's the gameplay is fun. It just doesn't have the personality of Left 4 Dead, unfortunately.
No, Left 4 Dead just had this charm to it. Like, it was terrifying and fun to play with friends, but there was also this really goofy aspect to it as well. That I think Back 4 Blood is completely missing.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the moment-to-moment gameplay and the car system, I really enjoy that element.
But it's missing something. For Left 4 Dead, though, for me, my favorite mod was turning everything into a Teletubby, and then the sun, and then killing everything, and all you hear is la la, and they're like running at you, and then I have a lightsaber.
Mine's the Roblox ones where every single time you kill one of them, you just hear oof.
One of my favorite things, I actually have 2 mods. One, I have Beavis' voice as the jockey. It's the funniest damn thing.
Oh my god!
And the other thing, having Patrick as the boomer, and when you walk, you hear him say, "Don't hurt me!" as he's walking around.
I thought you were talking about Patrick Star for a second.
That's awesome.
Is made as an instrument.
You actually do hear that at one
You did
point.
that really. Yeah,
that was well done. Yeah,
that was very well done. Brett, what are your thoughts for Left 4 Dead, man?
I can never get enough of it. I've had Left 4 Dead 2 since launch. I still pop it into my Series X now, play it backwards compatibility. Just any way I can play that game, I still do. I absolutely adore it. I agree with you all on Back 4 Blood, though. I would not have that game if it wasn't for Xbox Game Pass. That's the only reason I have it.
Damn.
And it is fun. I hop in and I play, with friends or with my brother, whoever, and it's fun in short bursts. But I think you guys nailed it. It's not that mechanically the game isn't good. I love the card system. It handles well. It looks great. It just lacks that personality that's going to keep me coming back. And I guarantee you right now, unless something changes and the post-launch content is phenomenal, it's absolutely not going to have the longevity that Left 4 Dead has had.
And you know what? It sucks because the versus mode is not as good, and that's
it's not fun. You should be able to do the campaign like you could back in old school Left 4 Dead.
Yep.
Yeah, because
agree.
even in the beta, which I played that entire weekend, the versus mode was awful. It wasn't
very
fun.
good.
I played it for maybe 20 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm going back to the campaign mode. The wave system, and everything was just so much more fun.
I also ran into a
agree.
glitch though in that game that pisses me off. So I joined my friend's world, and we did a bunch of the story, and I went back to mine to start doing more of it. Nope.
Didn't save, didn't unlock all before you
didn't
did it.
unlock anything. So now I have like no interest in playing it because I'm like, I don't want to do this shit
did it
again.
all. Yeah.
So, all right. I guess I'll kick off now for my number 4 because we'll go back around.
Go for it, man.
My number 4, Alan Wake. One
Love
of the
that
best
game so much.
horror thriller
played
games ever played. Patrick is fucking.
How
You can
dare
get
I
it
have the
now.
remaster. I do have the
Okay.
remaster. I'm gonna
Okay.
play it. I'm gonna
You
play it in
should
the
stream
next
that.
week.
You should stream that. You would like
Yeah.
it.
No,
I think
I am planning on it. I am planning
Okay.
on it.
Alan Wake is not just one of the best. So I'm not going to get into spoilers then, but Alan Wake is one of the best horror games I've ever played. Technically, it's brilliant. I still haven't bought the remaster. I want to. I just haven't had time to play it. I love the graphics back in the day. And seriously, like Remedy killed it because then you have Control, which is also a really good game if you want to play on horror because it does have those horror tendencies.
Control's
but I will say
fucking
this right
amazing.
now. Mike fucking Flanagan.
Yes.
Please make
Yes.
Alan Wake. Please make
Oh
Alan
my
Wake
God.
into a show.
Even just from screenshots and like little video promos of the remaster, I've seen him like, if anyone's gonna adapt this, it's gonna be Mike Flanagan.
Yep.
Dude,
Just
that'd be a
it's
dream
his
come true.
incredible visual style, just right there on a
Yeah.
silver platter, going,
Yeah.
"Your meal, sir."
Yeah, but there's
It's pretty much
it's
that.
pretty much you're playing a Stephen King book. Like that's
Yeah.
what it feels like. I'm not going to go into any more detail because the less you know, the better. Austin, what are your thoughts on it, man?
Oh man, I actually have it in my top 5. Alan Wake. I
Okay.
do love this
So if
game
you-
to no
you wanna
end,
wait?
but
You
that's all
can
I'm gonna
wait.
say.
You wanna hold it?
Yeah, I'll wait a little bit, but I will say this: Alan Wake. It's a very that game does not get enough love. Alan Wake
Okay.
never does, which
Awesome.
pisses me off in all honesty because that game is amazing.
Brett, what about you? Have you played it?
I'm actually in the same boat as Patrick. I have not played it. I've wanted to for years and years and years, but I think just like Patrick, again, the remaster is going to be the time now to jump in. I mean, everyone is raving about the game. It's coming back to life, bigger and better than it ever was with this remaster. Like you guys said, there's talks of hopefully an adaptation and stuff. So now seems like the perfect time for me to drop a bit of cash on it and finally jump into this.
Perfect. And then we already know Patrick's thoughts on it. So let's move on to Austin's now. Austin, what's your number 4?
Number 4 for me is Dead Space 2. A lot of people would probably say the original game. No, it's the original game. Like I would go back and say this: Dead Space is like Alien. Dead Space 2 is like Aliens. Dead Space 2 is one of the most terrifying games I have ever played.
The nursery.
Don't get me started on it. Like I remember specifically a memory to this day. So like the elevators in Dead Space are supposed to be your safe section. There was a part when I was playing Dead Space 2, and an alien comes bursting through. I was at a friend's birthday party, right? And one of my friends was playing the game, and an alien comes through. I'll never forget how loud that guy was screaming when the alien burst through. And I was like, I guess they're not so safe anymore, are they? And the game is it's eerie, it's tension filled, it's like I said, terrifying. The creature design is absolutely
Story's
incredible.
better too.
Oh, the story's incredible.
Yeah.
And the moment to moment gameplay, you're on your toes every second of that game. And I mean, it feels like Aliens in all honesty. And Aliens is one of my favorite movies in general. I mean, the music, it's incredible. I mean, I could talk about Dead Space 2 for honestly hours on end, but no, Dead Space 2, and it's a lot of fun too, despite you honestly almost like pissing your pants the entire time, but still, it's a lot of fun. I mean, honest to God, if you haven't played Dead Space 2, what in the hell are you doing? Enough said.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna say anymore because it's on mine. Brett, what about you? You got anything?
It was already on mine, so I can talk about it. But yeah, no, I agree. Really, it's Dead Space, the original. It's fantastic. Really, you know, you can't say anything bad about it. It's just it is a bit archaic now. And Dead Space 2, I feel, took everything that Dead Space, the first one, did well and just did it better. Like you guys said, it's got like better atmosphere, it's got better controls, it's got a better story, it's aged a lot better, and I really do think that it's a damn near perfect game in general, not just a perfect horror game. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I honestly agree with everything Austin just said.
Awesome. And Patrick, anything you want to add?
I honestly think it is a perfect game. And one thing that helps elevate the fact that I think it is a perfect game is that a game like this has a lot of... It has some big shoes to fill, especially with how solid that first game was. It needed to up the ante in so many different ways. And I think the thing that helped this game in particular, it wasn't just the story, the gameplay, and the scares, but the fact that it upped it to 100 in the sense of no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you never feel safe. You constantly feel like there is something watching you and it's just going to pop out at any moment and you're just going to shit fucking bricks.
Yep.
And when a game is able to have you on edge like that the entire playthrough, it has succeeded at what it's set out to do. And it's also made itself more memorable in that case as well, because you will not forget those moments of just sheer dread for those however many hours it takes you to play through the entire game and its experience. And Dead Space 2 does it brilliantly.
Dude, I'm so hyped for that remake for the original Dead Space.
Yes.
It's good. I hope it's good.
So good.
Yep.
All right, Brett, kick us off. What's your pick?
Perfect. So mine's one that, again, was already mentioned earlier, so I'll dive a bit deeper into it now, and that is Until Dawn. Again, I could have said any of the Dark Pictures games. I think Until Dawn's the best. It's the longest. It has the best cast, and I find your decisions matter a bit more in this one, but regardless, I love everything about it. I think that it is like perfectly campy and it just has great atmosphere, and the decisions feel like they genuinely matter, with the butterfly effect being introduced, that mechanic into the game. And like Zach had said, you know, he had everyone until the end, and then one decision can just throw it all off. And that's what I love about this game, is that you can have no one make it to the end, you can have everyone make it to the end, or you can have everyone make it to the end and then one
you can have Emily make it to the end.
It's just like, it's craziness. The game is absolutely bonkers. I love how the decisions feel like they matter, and
Big
I love the
too.
twists.
Lots of surprises if you've never
Yeah,
played it.
exactly. The twists are wild. Like, there's one and you're like, holy shit, didn't expect that, and then it somehow gets even crazier as it goes on into the story, and it takes it to some very unexpected places.
Yeah, because that first twist you learn about in like the first hour or two.
Yeah, it's
and
not
you're like,
very
well,
late
how
in
much
the
is
game.
left? How much is
Yeah,
left?
and then
What's
it
going
just
on then?
goes way off. But
yeah,
and I love it, and I'm glad that they took this style of game and they turned it into its whole other thing, because now we have like 3 other, because they just released a new one, didn't they? The one that has Ashley Tisdale
House of
in it.
Ashes.
Yeah, that one, right?
I
I
cannot
haven't
wait to
played
play
any
that.
of those.
And they have another one on the way, I think, too. So, and these ones are all like shorter, like they're not full price. They're only like 4 to 6 hours. So you're getting these condensed little mini journeys that are just
they all
like
good though?
spin-offs.
Because I've put them off because I just haven't heard good things about them.
Little Hope was better than Madonna, in my opinion, but Madonna's still a solid game.
Yeah, Madonna's a lot of fun, but Little Hope just has that really spooky atmosphere to
I
it.
just
And
wish
it has
they would
Will
do
Poulter.
another one like Until Dawn.
Yes.
That's what
You
I
mean
would.
Adam
Poulter's
Warlock.
Yes.
Adam fucking Warlock.
Oh, by the way, Little Hope, I thought I survived all the characters. At the very last sequence, only Will Poulter lived. I just went, fuck!
That's like the worst ending you could have gotten.
right?
And that's what I mean, though. That's what these games are.
That's what they're
so
fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think Until Dawn did it the best personally, and that's why it's my pick. But you really can't go wrong with any of the games, especially where they're not full price. So it's easy pickup.
So, Patrick, do you have the platinum for this? And do you have anything else to add? Or if it's on your list, we can wait.
I do have the platinum, but it is on my list later, so I will refrain from talking about Until Dawn for now.
Okay.
And Austin, do you have anything else to add for Until Dawn then?
It's so much fun. Like he was already saying, it's got the amount of camp to it. It's a game you can play with a party. I mean, even though it's not a cooperative game, but it's a game that you can have.
It's fun.
Watch. It's like a movie night type of game.
That's what I do with my friend. He sat behind me, and I made all the choices, and then he wanted to do another playthrough where he made the choices, but I was too fucking scared. So
sit there with a whiteboard with an entire group of friends to take photos,
mapping everything
out. You should make.
Betting money to see who makes it and who dies first.
It's so satisfying watching Emily get shot in the eye. I just want to say that. I fucking hate her so much.
It's like, that's what you fucking get for being such a bitch.
Oh my god, I know she wasn't going to become a Wendigo, but every single time I played through the game, I've got my platinum now, and all I will say is I always choose for Mike to shoot her in the face.
every time.
I hate her every fucking time. I make sure she survives so she can get shot in the face.
There you go.
That is cruel punishment right there, man.
There you go.
Oh my god.
All right, Patrick, lead us into your next. What is your next game?
My number 4 is a game that we should have a sequel to by now, and I don't understand why we fucking don't. Alien Isolation is one of the creepiest, most unsettling, claustrophobic games I have ever played in my entire fucking life. It's not just the xenomorphs you have to deal with, but it's also the humans and the androids, and it actually is a really difficult game, even on the lower difficulties. I swear to God, the first time I played through the game, that first really creeping section throughout, like, after you have that gunfight with those humans and everything in the lobby, when you've got to go through, like, I think it's the medical bay or something. When that first sequence in the first 2 hours where I'm now sneaking around the xenomorph took me hours to get past on, like, the second lowest difficulty on my first ever playthrough. This is not just a scary game or claustrophobic game. It's fucking hard. And I think that also adds to the replayability to it, especially with some of the trophies they have. I think there's like a complete the game on the hardest difficulty without dying once trophy, and I'm just sitting here going, fuck off. But
never. Wouldn't even attempt it.
It does add that replayability, but I just think it's amazing that, so we have Alien and Aliens, and we know Ripley was asleep between then, but we never got to see what happened with her daughter. But Alien Isolation sort of fills that gap that a lot of us were wondering for years. And it's a really awesome story. And that ending, while very sad, it's also quite like, oh my God, there's hope there. But it's left up to the viewer's imagination, which I love. Well, the player's imagination, sorry, where you just see that light after she's been sucked out into the void of space. Yeah. I just love Alien Isolation. I replay it every year. It's so good.
Great pick. Great pick. Brett, you got anything to add for this one? I've actually only never beaten this game. It's too scary for me. Fuck this game. Stop playing after the first 2 hours, but I agree it's scary.
I'm going to skip out on me for this time because it is actually later on my list. So I'll save my thoughts for them. Yeah.
All right, Austin, what about you?
Man, this game is terrifying. I actually never beat this game only because, one, I was borrowing from a friend of mine, and two, like you're mentioning, Zach, it's almost too damn scary to play. It's a great little bridge, like Patrick was just mentioning, it was a great bridge between all the alien mythology, and play this game with the PlayStation camera. It adds a whole new element of scariness because if you breathe, the alien can actually hear you. And I was actually,
I think I was kidding me?
Yeah,
that's what I was doing on stream last year. That's why I was having so much trouble on my streams last year. I was like, fuck this shit. No, I'm not doing it because I didn't have my capture card. I was streaming from PlayStation with a webcam. So therefore the fucking xenomorph would just fucking come to me, and I'm like, how the fuck?
Like there's a section where I was hiding it because I was scared to say the least. My camera was plugged in, didn't even realize that the xenomorph was going on.
So even if you're not using it, it still takes from it?
Yes.
Oh, what the
fuck? Unplug that shit before
you can turn it off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's a part where I was going like, okay, I'm like, okay, and I heard like I just went, oh no, it just comes right against me. And I was like, what's playing it? That son of a fucking bitch. And I just turned off my camera immediately. Oh my God. Yeah, that camera adds so much more attention to the game. You
just grabs a fucking brick and throws it at the camera.
So true.
Yeah, I'm like reading on other things. Apparently, if you have it turned if you lean, Ridley will also lean.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What the fuck?
It just adds to the experience. It's
why don't people make games like this?
I don't get it. It's like Resident Evil 7's VR mode. The VR mode in 7 is amazing.
Imagine if Outlast Trials, when that comes out, was like that.
Oh no, I wouldn't even attempt it. Can you imagine?
That would be
Trials out? Is Trials
no,
out?
next year. Next year in April.
Is that the co-op one?
Dude, the first Outlast game is scary enough. I can't imagine how Outlast Trials is going to be like.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited, yeah.
You and I have talked about this before, Brett, on our timelines.
We have on Twitter,
we are for Trials.
Oh, yeah. So stoked.
Cannot fucking wait for that game.
Brett, what are your thoughts on this game? Oh, well, we already got to you. Austin, me. Okay. Sorry.
We're good.
Patrick, let's hear your next one now, and then we'll go back around.
My number 3?
Yeah.
My number 3, okay, I've cheated a little bit. I have 2 here, but that's because I could not choose. I went down the list of Resident Evil games as to ones that I find the scariest, but the most replayable at the same time. The only Resident Evil games to this day I can't speedrun that I find so fucking scary in their own right is Resident Evil HD and Resident Evil 4. Ooh. They are my 2 favorite Resident Evil games of all time, and RE4 just happens to be my favorite game of all time. RE4 is this perfect blend of horror, combat, and just cheesy, dumb shit. Like, you've got Sadler, you've got Salazar, you've got the big cheese, lines such as hasta luego, as soon as he shoots a fucking explosive barrel to kill the big cheese. You've got, you know, Salazar, who's just an annoying little kid shit. But, like, it adds to the lore in such an interesting way. And it's not even zombies. It's the... what is it? The
Las Plagas, if I remember correctly.
The Las Plaga, yeah, they're so fucking cool. And you never know which parasite demon spawn's gonna pop out of their head, or if it is. And that shit is terrifying to me. Oh man, it's one of the best games of all time. And Resident Evil HD, I'm still a fan of the whole fixed camera angles, sort of point and click sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I love the tank control still. I love Code Veronica still. But Resident Evil HD has so much to it in regards to, you kill a zombie. Are you going to burn it or not with the little bit of gasoline you have or whatever? Otherwise, it will later on respawn in that same place as a fucking Crimson Head. It's like this little wolf-type spawn zombie. And I'm just like, fuck off. That shit
games
is
like
terrifying.
that, dude. They don't make games like that anymore.
They don't.
No,
it's terrifying.
I want
like,
to give a special mention. Oh, sorry. Keep going on.
I was going to say, that doesn't even mention the iconic bosses like Lisa Trevor. You've got the Snake. You've got the T-001. The twist that Albert Wesker was fucking betraying you the entire time. Oh, man. I can't wait to see how they...
I didn't know that he betrays him. I thought they were best friends all up until 5.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah. Because that's why he has the Ouroboros inside of him. And fuck you, Sheva.
I will say this. I want to give a special mention. I think Zero is a very underrated game. Resident Evil Zero.
It is, with Rebecca Chambers and everything.
Yeah, dude.
It's so good.
The musical score when you go into the training facility, it screams. The theme, that could be the theme for Resident Evil right there. I love Resident Evil Zero so much.
That iconic music of, what is it, from both RE HD and Resident Evil 4 of the... like that opening theme, or when you're saving, or like they don't have Resident Evil games anymore where when you click to enter the game or in your game go Resident Evil. Like, where is that anymore?
That is true. They don't have that even in Village.
I miss it. They don't have it in Village or 7.
Man, I just realized that. Yeah.
Interesting choice. Thanks for ruining my day, Patrick. Brett,
Zach.
Thoughts on these? Do you have them on your list? Do we need to move ahead?
I don't have them on my list. I'll be quick about it though. I mean, there's not much I can add with Patrick being such a diehard fan. What can I say that he hasn't already said? I will add this though, that I am with Zach, that I am not a fan of the fixed camera angles and things like that.
Really?
I don't love
Patrick.
it.
I love it. I love
the more over the shoulder perspective, and that's the reason I've never actually gotten all the way through the Resident Evil HD, just because I find sometimes it gets so frustrating trying to control the camera angles and the smaller little confined areas and stuff. That being said though, Resident Evil 4, I mean, is easily one of the greatest games of all time, and I don't think anyone's gonna contest that. So
bring on that remake.
I do hope in the remake, when it comes out, they incorporate that thing that was in the E3 demo with the Hookman in that little mansion. I hope they bring that back into it, because that shit from the E3 demo, I've watched gameplay, terrifying as fuck. Don't understand why they removed it. Don't understand.
Maybe at the time it wasn't working, like graphically or systematically. So maybe this time it can.
Well, that's when it was still the fixed camera angle tank controls before they actually readjusted it to the over the shoulder for the actual game's release.
The game would have fucking sucked.
Yeah, exactly. I still prefer the original RE2 over the remake. I'm sorry.
What?
Really?
I'm sorry. Okay, when I do the 2 different campaigns, I like to have my choices in regards to picking.
Fuck you, Patrick.
Picking up this herb or this thing of ammo or whatever. I like that to carry over to the next game. No, it's just the same shit if I play as Claire
Aw,
A and then Leon B. I fucking hate that. But also, if you walk, Mr. X cannot catch up to you in the remake. He will not catch you. You can walk, and he will just be your little buddy the entire time.
I mean, you have a point there. I can't deny
That's valid.
that.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Okay, fair enough. Brett, your turn, man.
Number 3, this one, I don't know if other people are going to have it or really think of it. I could be dead wrong, though, also. But regardless, my number 3 is always going to be best played with friends, and that is Dead by Daylight. I adore this game. I've been playing it for years and years. I have so much fun. I have played endless hours by myself. I have played endless hours with a few friends and hopping online with randoms, or I've been playing with a full lobby of friends, streaming it, having a party, and just joking around and doing whatever. It is an absolute blast. I love the dynamic, the 4v1. I love how all of the characters, the killers, have their own distinct personalities. I love the system, like the upgrade system for the survivors and the way they have the blood points. You can get upgrades, the way that you can incorporate almost like a card-like system to change the dynamic of the map, like to add like more fog or things like that to help yourself survive, the way the perk system works. I love all of it. I've been playing this game for years, and horror fans, there's something to enjoy for everyone because of how many iconic killers they've brought to the game. There's Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface, Leatherface. They brought in Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. They brought in the Demogorgon from there's so many characters. And I will add this on at the end because it's not my pick, but if you are a die-hard Jason Voorhees fan, you're not going to be able to get him in Dead by Daylight, but there is a Friday the 13th game, which is nearly identical. So you can still jump into that. It's a bit campier. I think it's 1v8, but Jason is so much more powerful, and you are a lot weaker as a camper, but at least there are more options to escape. So it does offer a bit more variety from Dead by Daylight. So if you're die-hard Jason Voorhees, you can play as him in Friday the 13th. Man. Sadly, the game's not updated anymore, but Dead by Daylight, that's my number 3 pick.
The Friday the 13th game is a buggy mess of a game.
It is, but it's so much fun. It's got that charm.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna get into Dawn by Day, what is it called?
Dead by Daylight, dude.
I bought the Predator game, really excited for that. Couldn't get into it.
Same on Predator,
I don't know what it is.
I
watch people play these games, and I'm like, they're having so much fun. Why can't I? How the fuck can I have fun?
Gotta play with the right people, Zach.
I'll play with friends too who are into it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I remember Dead by Daylight. I downloaded, I played one match, I fucking uninstalled it afterwards. I was like,
wow.
I didn't even give it a chance.
I know.
I was hooked. I bought the game and I played it for like 12 hours straight. Could not get enough of it.
I know. I don't know what it is. Maybe I was just in the wrong mood or something, and I just need to try it again. I couldn't get into it. I wanted to so bad. I wanted to so bad.
Who's your favorite killers? Who are your favorite
killers?
Oh my god!
I'd actually say Michael Myers is my favorite because every time you chase after someone, you're OP as fuck at that point.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like what's the one I'm trying to think of? Is it the Wraith, the one that can go invisible and has the bell?
Yeah.
That one?
Oh fuck!
It's so cheeky, but it's so much fun. Like, you piss people off so
playing
easy.
as Charlie from Hereditary when she just walks around going.
The Huntress. Good aim gets you many places with the Huntress. Enough said.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's just.
See, you know what's what I've played though? That I don't know if you guys have had. What the hell? Now I forgot. Keep going on. I gotta figure out what the fuck this game is called.
I love the variety that it offers.
It's a lot of fun.
Variety.
I know what it is. Hunt Showdown. Have you guys ever heard of this game?
I haven't played it yet though.
It is so fucking good. But it's better than it's kind of the same concept. You get dropped into a world and you have to hunt a monster down. You have to find traps.
I was going to say it's Fortnite.
So it's the opposite. But in the same world, there's 8 other people hunting the same monster.
Oh, okay.
And they can kill you.
I've wanted to pick it up, but I've heard mixed things, so I haven't jumped into it yet.
Yes and no, but I think you guys would like it because it's kind of in the same vein. It's just the opposite. You're hunting a monster.
Oh, okay.
But the monster, fuck you up. In one day.
I've heard that for sure.
Man, Dead by Daylight. I think I played the Steam free weekend. I bought it right afterwards. I have it on my Series X. I have it on my PS5 and my PC. That tells you how much I like the game. So
there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm that annoying asshole who plays as Pighead from Saw, Amanda Young, and Nemesis. even though Nemesis fucking sucks. But that's because I'm a
So, do you have to buy all those other characters?
yes.
Unfortunately,
You can't.
yes.
They go on sale pretty frequently. Actually, on PlayStation
Yeah.
right now with the Halloween sale, I think they're
The
all
most
half
popular
off.
one.
So they're
oh,
like
wow.
a few
Stranger
bucks.
Things.
How much
Stranger
do
Things
they
is-
cost? I think Stranger Things is gone. I think now.
I'm not going to
Ah.
contribute here because I'm a EU currency.
When? Yeah, when did it? I don't know if it was the beginning of October, or end of October. The Stranger Things one went away.
I don't know. I think that's the thing that also turns me off is that they're not free updates. I think that's the other thing
Yeah.
that turns. Is Pyramid Head still in it? The Silent Hill?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I need to get the Silent Hill chapter.
Yeah.
He's
See,
good.
so that's my thing. How does it work? Like, if I don't have it, like, can I not?
You
play
can
with
still.
people?
Yeah, you can
You
still
can still
play. You can
with
play
people,
against
you
any
just can't
killer.
play as that.
Yeah, and the maps are free and everything too. Like
Yeah.
you can still. It doesn't inhibit the game at all. It's just
Oh,
you
you
can't
just can't
access
play
that
as the
killer.
killer.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah. Everything else.
Can you?
just
Is there
stays the same.
in-game currency to buy them or no? Like, if you play enough?
Not from what
I
I
don't think so.
remember,
No, there's like
Because
blood
they're
points, but
separate
you just
things.
spend that on like perks and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
there's no
And,
there's no
like-
like microtransactions that
Maybe
ruin it or
I'll pick
anything.
it back up. Maybe.
And there are
We'll
separate
see.
survivors that you can get, like, say, for the Saw pack, you can play as David Tapp, or with the
Yeah.
Resident Evil
Yeah,
one, you
and
can
like
play
Laurie
as
Strode's in
Jill
there and stuff.
or Leon.
Mhm.
Which
Okay.
Leon looks like he has been benching like fucking.
Yeah. You can even play as Ash from Evil
He's been
Dead.
punching boulders.
Yeah.
See, the Evil Dead game, though, I am fucking out of my
same.
mind
That looks like
excited
fun.
for it.
I-
That looks like a lot of fun.
Best horror franchise ever made, man. I got Ash right here with me.
I've got my
Aw.
sister
Oh, there you
reacting
go.
to the 2013 film next week.
Ooh, good pick.
Oh, the 2013
Alright.
movie is badass.
Yeah. All right, Austin, take us on.
All right, number 3. Zach, you mentioned this earlier. I cannot get enough of Alan Wake, man. That game is so
Mhm.
good.
Are you playing the
I-
remaster?
Yes, the remaster is awesome. I do think, I mean, and the cutscenes, the frame rate does drop from time to time, but the gameplay looks and it plays just as well as, I mean, it retains the same gameplay elements like the Disney original game where you sprint and after like 5 seconds you have the stamina of like an 80-year-old man, unfortunately. But still, like you're mentioning, it feels like a Stephen King novel. It really does. And you guys just mentioned this earlier. Mike Flanagan, please make this into a movie or it's a TV series. Please. It screams him. It has a, like you were mentioning, it has a spooky vibe to it. It has a Twin Peaks vibe, which watch
Yeah.
Twin Peaks if you haven't, because that series is great. Well, the first season, because second season ending not so much, but still, it's just a really fun game. There's a lot of frustrating elements to it, but for some reason, I could just never stop playing it, and I still want a sequel. Still do. Remedy, please. I mean, Remedy, they're just masters at storytelling, I think. And I never got to play. I actually never played American Nightmare. I heard that was good.
I've heard it's good too, but I never played
Yeah.
it.
But Alan Wake it's just so much fun. Like, if you want a campy game, because the dialogue is pretty campy, and if you want a spooky atmosphere to it with a challenge, it's just, and it's attention filled. Oh, you bet your ass it is. It's just so good. I love Alan Wake.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Anyone else got any thoughts on Alan Wake? I know Patrick hasn't played it yet. Anyone else?
The only thing I
Brett?
just remembered where Austin mentioned American Nightmare, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you have Game Pass or if anyone here does, but it's either already on Game Pass now or it's coming within the next month. So if you have
Okay.
it, it'll be
Ooh.
there.
There we go.
Is this PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, you can get it on PC too, so I wasn't sure which one Austin
Yeah.
played
I don't
on,
have
but
an
yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah, the
All
remaster,
right.
the remaster is on PS5 and Xbox, but I think American Nightmare is only on Xbox and PC.
Yeah, I think it's just the 360 port.
Surprised they
yeah,
didn't
just like for
I'm
free,
surprised they
so.
didn't remaster that with it. but-
Yeah,
it'd be-
right?
It would be better to include it with the package, but
But actually,
Mm.
no. There's a rights issue with the music in there. I
Mm.
forgot
Oh,
about that.
okay.
That game got
Oh.
delisted for a long time. I don't know if
Yeah.
that ever got fixed, but all right. I guess I'll get to my number 3. Now, before I say my number 3, this is one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, it is my favorite game of all time. But I'm putting it at my number 3 because I don't fully consider it to be a horror game, but it has horror moments to it, and it's fucking horrifying, and sometimes it's really scary. It's The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. They are two of the
Okay,
best games
okay,
ever
yep.
created. Patrick knew exactly where I was going. He has his tattoo
Yeah.
right there, Ellie.
There
I
you
fucking
go.
adore both these games. I think
Commitment. I
they're
love it.
literally the word masterpiece is
Yeah.
understated.
Mhm.
Whatever is above a masterpiece is what both these games are. I love Part 1. I think Part 2 is even better. I'm
I
jealous
agree.
of you, Patrick. Fuck
I'm
you.
just gonna.
Do you have any room in your room? Is there a bed in there? Or do you just have these giant fucking cardboards everywhere?
It's over there. It's over there.
Yeah, just enough room for a bed in your room.
That's just the one bed, yeah,
Bailey,
nothing else.
I have a single bed still because my desk and all these fucking posters take up most
awesome.
of my room.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I love The Last of Us, man.
Yeah.
I remember the first time taking on a clicker. It's intense.
It's terrifying, dude.
That whole opening sequence when you're running through and it's a great,
It's not bad right there.
Everyone just stops for a second, like, well, hold on.
It's a great horror game to play, but it also has a phenomenal story. But I put it at my number. I almost put it at my number 1, but I wanted to leave my top 2 to be like games that actually terrified me.
Hardcore.
That like legit
man.
was on top of me. But Last of Us is something else. When you're running low on resources, it technically is a survival game, so it can be included. If either of you guys have it up higher, that's awesome. If not, that's cool. Austin, any thoughts you want to leave to this one?
Dude, I really wanted to put both these games on my list, but I wanted like purely more like Halloween centric games. But but man, part 1 and 2, it's like the perfect saga, right? The perfect duology right there. I mean, part 1 I think is great, but part 2 I actually think is a better game in some ways than the original part. And part 2 still at the end, I still cry like a baby at the end. It's one of the most heartbreaking endings I've ever seen. And if they do make a part 3, I want it. I really do.
Depends on the story. I'm in for it. I trust them. If it's Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann doing it, I trust them.
I want them to go the route, if they either do a part 3, in the route of what they did with The Walking Dead Season 3, A New Frontier, where we follow new characters, but we will see Ellie and Abby come as side characters that we will get to play as.
That'd be cool,
in their own separate sections, because we will get to expand on the world rather than just these central characters span broader to these different survivors. I think that would work better, because I think the main central story of Ellie is now finished.
Yeah.
I think her main central story is now done, but there is a lot that can still be done with her as maybe a supporting character.
I would like to see a continuation with Abby, but I think we got what we could have Abby, but that'd be interesting to see more of Abby.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't want anything else unless it's with Ellie. But I want, because there's so many ways to interpret the ending of when you see her hand. You focus on the fingers missing, but she's wearing the bracelet again, which she gave back to Dina. So that means she has seen Dina since then. That is like the biggest thing. So it means she has seen Dina since then.
Okay.
So there's so many perspectives of how to take it. And
I'm gonna go fucking play this game again. Just give me a second.
I
want to. My God, just it's giving me like goosebumps right now. I just want to go play it again.
The permadeath trophies can suck my dick.
I do want to say really quick.
If you want to beat it, go by each chapter.
Yeah, like
on the easiest difficulty.
I do want to say really quick. When I was playing part 2 again, actually part 1, there's a part with when you meet Henry, and when Henry asked Ellie, "What are you most afraid of?" and she said, "Dying alone." And in part 2, look what happened to Ellie. I was like, and I talked to my buddy. I was like, "Do you realize what happened?" And he was like, "Oh, holy shit!"
Can we be realistic though? I will say this: she should have died. I didn't want her to die, but she should have died from the injuries she fucking sustained.
Who, Ellie or Abby?
Ellie. Well, I mean, both of them should have died.
Both.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, the ending of that game when you were punching Abby, it really does feel like...
Dude, I didn't want to play that game.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, I grew to love Abby. The thing is, what Last of Us Part 2 does so well is that it actually makes a character we already love so unlikable, but you still care about them at the same time, because Ellie is constantly making the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
And then you get to see that altered perspective from Abby's point of view for like 8 or 9 hours. Yeah. And you get to see the different side of the equation. And it's like that final segment with Ellie and Abby, that final battle, you're like, I don't want to play. I don't want to do anything. Fuck off.
Yeah,
no.
I'm predicting right now, depending, I don't know what they're doing with the Last of Us show necessarily. I don't know if the first, from my understanding, the first season is the first game. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I got from it too. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I guarantee Abby's at the end of the season. The very
that would be a cool cameo right there.
To tie into the next, because it is out there that they pretty much already have plans for season 2, and Pedro is only signed on for 3 episodes. So we know what the fuck's happening to him.
Dude, not ready to watch that again.
I said it. Chloe Grace Moretz. Bulk her up, throw her in there. Done.
Yep,
that's not a bad pick.
That'd be great
at all.
That is who I think. Chloe Grace is an excellent actress, and I think if you give her that material, she just has to bulk up a little bit. That's all she. And she could easily do that. because I just feel like she could play that tomboyish really well. I mean, I'm sure there's other people out there because I never thought Lady Mormont for Ellie, and then I'm like, that's a really good casting.
Yeah.
So, same with Pedro,
honestly.
you know. So I'm excited. Is anyone? What was that you were gonna say?
I was gonna say who played what was her fucking? Hang on.
And the
Game of
game was
Thrones
Laura
cast.
Bailey.
Yeah, Laura Bailey was in the game.
Oh man, dude, like in that final part, I legitimately wanted to put the controller down and watch it as a movie. I like that's how much I didn't want to play
I
that
retract
part.
my statement.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say Macy Williams, but I'm like, wait, no. Now looking at her, it's been too long. Haven't watched Game of Thrones in ages. Never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah, after season 8, I don't blame you.
Yeah, so I don't know. Does anyone else have anything to say on this game? I don't know if you guys have it on your list or not. If not, we'll go before.
I don't have it for the same reason that Austin doesn't. It's just like I tried to get more like Halloween horror centric games. I agree with
that's what
Zach
I kept doing, and then I kept looking at it on my list. I'm like, I can't put that as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
It's got to be my top 3. So
I agree with Zach though. If there was a tier above Masterpiece, it would be that 1 and 2, and I agree with Patrick as well. Did not agree, but I do appreciate the Shadow for the Walking Dead, the Telltale games, because that's my favorite journey probably of any medium out there. Clementine's Journey. I've played those games more time than I ever cared to count, and I cry at the end of the last season.
I wish I liked New Frontier more. Season 3 or 4 for Walking Dead.
Oh my
god! The first 2 chapters,
and the second I saw Kenny died, I was fucking done.
Oh,
you gotta get it though. You gotta finish.
No, I was pissed.
I chose for Kenny to die at the end of season 2.
I didn't. I wanted. I love Kenny, so
I wanted him to be at peace with Duck and Kutcher because he was too far gone. I chose.
I kill him for the same reason. Yeah,
I get it.
And then I left Jane to go fuck herself.
Yeah,
I only beat the first 2 seasons. I haven't played any of the rest.
But I will say, shout out to Wolf Among Us. If you've never played that Telltale game,
oh my!
That's
I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah. If it ever actually comes, sweet lord, it's been forever. We need more.
That was actually announced like 4 years ago.
It was like forever ago.
But then they went under, and now they're coming back. So
and Wolf Among Us is actually my favorite Telltale game. Wolf Among Us,
second for me. Second.
Oh man, I can't get enough of Wolf Among Us. I love that game so much.
So damn good.
Yeah. So all right, Austin. What's your next one?
So number 2, right? Number 2. Now this is my favorite.
Oh wait. Would I start with my number 2 then?
Yeah.
Number 2.
Oh, okay. It's mine. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm like, we talked for last.
Zach, get together, bro. I'm upset.
Okay. So my number 2, Bioshock, the original.
I wanted. This is actually an honorable mention on my end. Honorable mention.
Yeah. This is a horror game in my eyes. It's fucking dreadful. It's creepy. I wanted to put Infinite because low-key kind of like Infinite a little more, but it's not a horror game. This one is a fucking horror game, man.
Oh yeah.
I remember me and my friend rented this from Blockbuster back in the day. When I was still
man.
And we put it in and we're playing on this fucking
Blockbuster.
You serious?
I'm 19. I don't know what Blockbuster. Fuck off.
You're
like,
what?
No.
Holy shit! What?
I forget. I don't know
for a second there.
You're 19. God, I feel like a fossil now. Oh,
yeah, you're 19. Yeah. Shit, I did not know that.
I'm not 20.
I'll be 29 in a month, dude.
I swore you were. I thought you were the same age as me, Patrick. Damn. I thought I was the youngest one in here. Now I feel fucking old.
No, I'm not.
How old are you, Zach?
I'm 24.
I'm 23. So.
Oh shit!
I'm the oldest one here. Get out of here!
All right, Daddy. What's going on, Dad?
You shut up. I'll be 29 in December, actually.
Oh,
no kidding.
I'll be 20 in December.
There you go.
December 8th on my end. So
December 5th.
Oh,
I know.
Shit. You guys
it's
are
funny
so
when I started YouTube, I was like 18, 17, and I was like, but
yeah, I was 15.
You know,
I was 15.
Nuts, man.
Well, technically, my YouTube career started in 6th grade when I was filming stupid videos, but. Never gonna.
I was doing the same. My YouTube career started with a channel I then deleted at the end of 2015.
Oh man!
But I started it in the 6th grade where I would play through Outlast over and over again, trying to speedrun it.
Oh my god!
But yeah, so we rented it from Blockbuster, and for people who don't know what Blockbuster is, it's a place you rent games and movies from. Very common thing back in the day. But he had this old school TV like. Box TV, like
the
shit.
CRT,
yeah, and that's what we would play his Xbox on because that's all he had and that's all we had at the time. And so we played Bioshock. So it added this creepy feature to it.
Yeah,
but we didn't know. We thought you played as the Big Daddy.
That
So,
Bioshock
from
2
the
is very
cover,
underrated.
Yeah, so
It
when we
is,
get to the
actually.
scene and I'm like playing, I'm like, why are we a human? Does he get like the drill? Because that's like, I'm like, oh, okay. Then I see someone die from it, and then the Big Daddy comes into play, and I say, hell no. I'm done. I'm done. And I literally did not beat this game until probably like 5 years later when I finally bought it for myself.
Wow.
You gotta be kidding me right now.
No, seriously. And I only did it because Bioshock Infinite was coming, or Bioshock 2 was coming out, and I really wanted to play that. So I ended up buying the first one to go through it and beat it, which you don't need to, but and I loved it. I mean, Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite, top 5 games of all time to me. Same thing as The Last of Us for me. But they're more. Bioshock is definitely more of a horror game in my opinion.
Yeah.
With the characters down there, the drugs, the little sisters, the big daddies, the atmosphere. It's perfect. I don't know if anyone else has Bioshock on their list, but we'll kind of go around Austin.
It would be
No.
an honorable mention.
Okay.
I
It
do
would be an
love
honorable mention.
Bioshock. You were mentioning it's your top 5 games of all time, Zach.
Yeah.
Bioshock. It's literally my number 5 game of all time, right
Hell
there.
yeah.
Dude, I've been in Bioshock 1 at least 13 times. I love that game to know, and you're mentioning it has a great and terrifying atmosphere, especially when those fucking spider splashers are everywhere. Those things can suck a dick, enough said. But the big daddies are scary to be around, but though when you power up and everything, you're just like, all right, motherfucker, come and get me now. But 2, underrated game, but 3, that's more of like 3 I wouldn't consider scary. It has some horrifying moments, but 3 is an incredibly well done game. I love Infinite.
It kind of went that Dead Space 3 route.
Yeah, it did.
But better. Because
Yeah.
Dead Space 3 was garbage.
Yeah.
No, I love the original Bioshock. It's so good.
Brett, what about you? What do you have for Bioshock?
I mean, anyone who knows me well should know this anyway. The original Bioshock is my favorite game of all time, period.
Oh, wow.
Always has been, will always be. I didn't include it on this list because I think I've played it so many times I've become numb to any of the horror elements, but there's no denying that they're there. That's why I didn't include it. It is definitely the most horror-centric of the 3, and Infinite as well to show it some love. That's also in my top 5 of all time. I adore these games. I agree with Austin, though. The second one, super underrated. It's not it's not an amazing game.
Good.
It doesn't reach the heights.
The online was
2,
underrated, though.
1
The
and 3.
online was fun.
It was so much.
It's a ton of fun, honestly. I do enjoy
really
it, but yeah, I play Bioshock probably once, if not more, every single year. I never grow tired of it. I owe so much to that game, honestly. It hit me at the perfect time in my life where I was like
puberty,
10, 11 years old. And yes, exactly. 10 or 11 years old. And I was just walking around like, sup, guys. But no, it hit me at the perfect time in my life that it really just set my imagination off. And I really, that game has done so much for me. And I adore it, honestly. The story, the characters, the atmosphere, the world.
The twist, man.
Yeah, everything about it. I don't have a single flaw with that game. And it hands down my favorite game of all time.
Which you kindly. That twist, my jaw dropped when
Best
I saw
twist of all time, in my opinion. You'd never would have guessed it.
I argue that the twist in Bioshock Infinite is better.
So I
really?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I'll say this. It's because I had already hints of what it was before actually beating the game.
Gotcha.
Because like so many people kept talking about would you kindly, so I kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
So and that's kind of what sucks with like twist nowadays is like if you kind of already know it, going in it can hurt. Patrick, any thoughts on Bioshock?
You guys are basically all said it. The only thing I'll really add is that eventually when I find a girl who will love me, I want to play Bioshock with her so she can then start calling me the big daddy due to my
Patrick, I'm right there with you, bro.
Gone again.
This is why over here. I can't have nice things, Patrick.
I've been kicked out twice. That's some kind of record.
You're fine, Patrick.
I don't have a filter, and I'm not going to filter myself. I don't.
Patrick, I'm right there with you. When I found someone that does love me, actually, right there with you, man. Oh my god!
Oh my god! I'm so lonely.
No, I get it. Austin, it's your turn, man. It's your turn now.
So this is number 2, right? Number 2. This is in my top 3 games, period. The only reason it's not my number 1 because I want my number 1 to be more fun than anything else. 2 for me is the scariest game I have ever played, and that is Silent Hill 2. Oh my god!
Okay.
Thank
Sound-
God you said this, because I was like, please
Oh.
don't say a Silent Hill game, because I have it in the thumbnail and I'm
Even
not
just
the-
changing it.
I'm just gonna say, I replayed Silent Hill 2 with a mate of mine on the Series X the other week.
Yeah.
We played with the 3-dimensional sound.
Dude, it's
I
terrifying.
had a fucking heart attack in the first 2 hours throughout
Same.
the apartment section.
Can I be
I'm
honest?
sitting there hyperventilating.
Don't tell
I've
me you
never
haven't
played. I've never played a Silent Hill game. I refuse to.
What?
Actually, let me rephrase it. I've never beaten a Silent Hill game.
Okay, I was
Okay,
gonna say.
yeah.
I've played so many of them,
Okay,
but I've never gotten past like the first 2 hours.
dude, because they're terrifying games.
No,
I
dude,
mean,
My worst
Yeah.
fear was PT coming out, actually, because I sat there and I'm like, I will want to beat this, but I don't
Because
know if I
Guillermo.
will.
I'm so jealous. I never got to play. Dude, I got my PS4 5 months after it was taken off the store.
Damn.
I was.
I
so
still have it too,
pissed.
actually.
I was the
I
I
exact
have it on my old
same.
school PS4.
I have it on my
no.
dad's. I had to move it to that because he can't play it on the 5.
I had to
Yeah.
buy a port. I had to actually download a port on PC of PT for me to be able to
Wow.
play it at all. I had to download a port of PlayStation 4, and I had to do it back multiple updates of like what that software would be to be able to play PT.
wow.
I went through this entire elongated process because I bought the PS4 like you, Austin, so late, and I'm like, I need to play this because I grew up playing Silent Hill, and I'm
Yeah.
just so disappointed I couldn't play it.
Dude, the moment
Yeah.
that they canceled Silent Hills, I was like, Konami, you can go fuck yourselves. Dude,
They're apparently making 2 more though right now, so we'll see.
I-
One of I'm not.
I'll believe it when I
Yeah.
see it, though.
Same. Silent Hill 2 just recently when I was playing the game, more than anything else, I actually put my controller down because the background music. I wouldn't say it's something because there's nothing about Silent Hill that's heavenly, but it's just a trance like feeling with the music. It's psychologically scary. I mean,
Mhm.
this game is just nothing short. There's nothing. I mean, Silent Hill 2 is fun, but this game is the epitome to me of terrifying. And I remember years ago when I was in college, I feel fucking old saying that. I was doing math classes and I was playing Silent Hill 2 on a school night, and I was like, I have to go to bed. And I wish I was making this up. Silent Hill 2 is a particular ambiance too with the background music. I wish I was making this up. As soon as I was going to bed, the outside where I was living matched the ambiance of Silent Hill 2. And that's when you gotta be. I couldn't sleep because I was afraid I was gonna have a nightmare that
So
night.
I have a question. Where can I play this game if I want to play it?
You can play the Silent Hill collection on the Series X actually.
Which is Silent Hill 2 and 3. You'll have to track down Silent Hill 1 and the.
Do I
run,
need to
which is
play
Silent
1 to
Hill
play
4.
2 or no? Can I just
No,
No.
it's standalone. No,
You can
all
play
the
it
games are
standalone.
standalone. And-
Silent Hill
yeah.
4 and 2 are the best, though, in my opinion.
Dude,
So if I
4 is
shit my
so
pants,
good.
who's buying me underwear? Who's buying me underwear?
Oh,
if
man.
I
you have to go to
I'll
SWAT now?
make sure. Just make sure you wear the brown pants. All right.
play 2? Okay.
I just. Oh god, that reminds me of a Billing Ball joke right there.
Oh no,
no,
I
I
was
mean,
referencing Deadpool.
that too.
Yeah.
But Silent Hill 2 is just it's a game that literally in the first hour or so it sucks you into the atmosphere. The voice acting is even Troy Baker's voice acting is terrific in the HD collection. And the final hours of the game, it's just the story gets so deep and you just think, whoa. And then the ending, I really do this when I play video games. I clapped at the end of Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
To me, it is the scariest game of all time.
Silent Hill the movie as well.
It's not
It's
bad.
actually one of the few video game movies that's actually good and
Yeah.
actually adapts Silent Hill 1 and 2 very well. Like it kind of combines both of them.
Yeah.
In certain aspects, like the location, the ambiance is very Silent Hill 2, but the characters and the story is very Silent Hill 1. But honestly, like Silent Hill 2, in my opinion, and Silent Hill 4 are two of the best survival horror games ever made. And I will never forget the first time I played Silent Hill 2 in the apartment block, where I was walking through, like there are these really tight corridors, and it's just all of a sudden I walk into this room, I hear this like little
Oh my god.
Next thing you know, I turn a fucking corner after finally figuring out how to turn my bloody torch on, and I see this headless body just going, and I'm just like,
man.
nah, I'm out, bye, fuck off.
Dude, the nurses are some of the most terrifying creatures too.
Is Pyramid Head in this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he doesn't appear as much as you might think he would appear. But that's what makes Pyramid Head so memorable, because when he appears,
He's
makes his
legitimately
presence known.
terrifying.
Okay.
He's fucking scary.
It's one of the most,
Right.
and Pyramid Head and Silent Hill 2 is one of the most terrifying jump scares ever. Like, I actually screamed and jumped out of my seat.
Damn.
I mean, it's
well, you guys convinced me I'm never gonna play this game.
Zach,
I'd like
Brett,
to play
me
it
over
on
here.
stream, Zach.
Brett, do you
Play
want
it
to
on
bring us
stream.
out? What's your next one, man?
Number 2, again, it seems you guys are taking all my picks on me, but yeah, it's one that's already mentioned, and that was the Alien Isolation. It was mentioned a little bit earlier. Same thing we all already said about it. I love the atmosphere. It's claustrophobic. It's unpredictable. It's completely ruthless. It does not give a single fuck about your feelings. Those save points are so far away. The xenomorph adapting as the game goes on and adapting to your tricks with this new sort of like AI that they created specifically for this character is pure genius. The androids are like so underrated because of how genuinely terrifying they are. The humans are all dicks and they want to kill you. The story, again, it fills in that gap for, to me, it's like the best alien sort of anything that we've gotten really since like Alien and Aliens. It just, it fits for me. Alien and Aliens are 2 of my favorite movies ever. I am in the camp that prefers Aliens to Alien.
Same.
Nevertheless, though, Isolation, it does everything right in my books. It is one that I love. I hate to love to play all the time because I love it, but my God, does it ever shoot my blood pressure through the fucking roof. It's so good. I absolutely love it. I can't say enough good things about it. And I agree too, like, I'm blown away that we have not gotten a sequel after the success that this was.
It did so well. It earned so much money and sold so many copies. And can we just mention as well how good the survival mode is?
Yeah.
The survival mode is amazing.
Surprised it never got a sequel.
It's crazy.
Hopefully at some point, like Alan Wake. Hopefully.
Remember when they did that like giant like announcements coming, and then they were like Alien Isolation Blackout on mobile, and everyone just
and I was like,
straight facing
I
them.
remember that. Yeah.
No one
worst
played
thing
it
in the world. Nobody
No one
played it
played
at
it.
all. No,
Yeah.
that was such a disappointment.
Yeah, I do want to before we go to Patrick, I do want to mention, I don't know if this is on anyone's list, but there's a franchise that I'm surprised none of us has mentioned, and that's Devil May Cry. With the demons and all that shit. No one's mentioned it.
3 is actually my favorite game of all time.
So,
I've never played a Devil May Cry game.
Oh,
Neither have I,
you would dig them,
honestly.
Patrick. You would really like them.
I've been meaning to for ages. I've just never gotten around to it.
Just don't play 2.
2 is just dull, man.
You know what game we needed another sequel to that was actually scarier than people let it out to be? And I'm surprised we haven't got a fucking
let me
remake
guess
or
it.
remaster.
Let me guess it. I know exactly what you're going to tell us.
Oh,
Okay?
God,
I know
I'm
exactly
curious.
what it is. All right?
Zach, I have a feeling where you're going with this.
Just hear me out. Toy Story 2, the video game.
Okay, that's not the route I thought you were going. And no, I was going to say Dino Crisis. Where the fuck
Yeah,
is the Dino Crisis
dude, we just
game?
talked about this at my job. Someone mentioned Dino Crisis. I'm like, yeah.
You know
That's
what?
hilarious.
You know what? There should
Where's
be a
Dino
remaster
Crisis
for.
for?
I want
Where's
to see a
that
new
remake?
Parasite Eve game. Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Played it.
Oh, Parasite Eve is a cult classic, man. That's a really good one.
So many good games that don't get the recognition and they keep making bullshit.
Don't
All
get
right.
me started.
Well, Patrick, tell us what's not bullshit with your number 2.
Good
The game
transition.
that I
Good
had to
transition.
replay for an entire 8 hours because I fucked up with one collectible, and that was Until Dawn. Thank
There you
you,
go.
Until Dawn. Oh my god,
One
this game. Every single time I played it, I've never played a game where I have been so fucking angry but so scared at the same time. Because ever since I played Until Dawn, I've been obsessed with Wendigo lore. Like
Same.
it
Yeah.
got me
Antlers
into
disappointed me.
Supernatural because of
I
that
can't wait.
second
I've seen
episode.
Antlers on Wednesday. I cannot wait.
Wait, I haven't seen a trailer. Is that with Wendigos? Holy what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about a Wendigo.
Yes.
I'm seeing it Wednesday
This
too
is
at a
news.
screening.
This
I
is
cannot
news to
freaking
Patrick.
I've already seen it.
I've stayed away from
Wow.
all
Of
trailers.
course you
I've stayed
have.
away from all trailers because I was like,
Oh,
I don't want to know
sorry,
anything.
Patrick. I didn't mean to
Looks
spoil
so
it for
good.
you.
But like,
That's so
even
good.
then, that doesn't really tell me anything. But I'm gonna fucking dig this movie now.
I cannot wait, man. Dude, I'm seeing Eternals and Last Night and so on. Then they end up
I-
back to back to back.
I am
I'm seeing
praying you
Saturday.
guys like it because I didn't like Antlers and I love
Oh,
Wendigo
shit.
Son of a
lore.
bitch.
So I
Shit.
really hope you guys like it.
I know
That's
nothing
awesome.
about it, so maybe that'll help. But
Yeah.
like,
It was one of
But
my most anticipated horror films for like
Same.
the last
Oh.
2 years. So
it's been delayed for like 2 years. That's what I was about
Yeah.
to say.
Fucking COVID.
But Until Dawn, like, I think the most. I think the best thing about this game is that every single playthrough I have is so different than the last because every choice I make is different, and I don't remember character interactions are different because the butterfly effect is actually a fucking thing here.
Yeah.
You have to be careful what you say to certain people, what you decide to do, how you act, and everything. It actually does matter. If you miss a QTE, it can mean the life or death of a fucking character, like that section with Chris. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you choose to shoot Ashley during that big saw section, no, Chris is dead because she won't let him into the fucking house. And the same thing with that. But that's the thing. Until Dawn also spoofs multiple genres. It spoofs Friday the 13th. It spoofs Paranormal Activity. It spoofs Saw multiple times. Even as far as having the twist of, hey, you thought I was dead, but I wasn't really dead. I'm the game creator. As far as going that far with the whole, like, you know, spoofing of Saw sort of thing, or like genres. But that also adds to the charm because it spoofs multiple different genres of horror or franchises. It's a very scary game, and it's a game also like The Last of Us Part 2 that begs to be fucking completed to 100%. Going through, grabbing every collectible, every totem, every note, or like, making sure that every character survives, and then having you play through where everyone dies. It's so satisfying getting that platinum because it takes so long. And if you fuck up one collectible, you can't just go back to that chapter because you have to play through and clock the chapter over into the next chapter to have it save and clock over. And that's when the collectibles will count. And it's so frustrating for that reason, but I kind of love that at the same time. It adds a replayability to it.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it's a great game. I'll probably just never play it again because I don't want to poop my pants again. So, all right, Patrick, let's round us out. Give us your number one. We'll go back around.
All right. My number one of the greatest games of all time, coming from Konami.
Oh, there you go.
Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. Just kidding.
Oh,
I want to say Saw. Man, I would never saw that pick coming.
Dude, I actually tracked this fucking shit down. And it was garbage. I will say, though, the first game is enjoyably bad, but that's
what I heard.
Patrick, how long were you waiting to do that joke?
He's had it on his lap this entire time.
I've had it on my desk this entire time. No, my number one is the original Outlast. The original Outlast is one of my favorite fucking horror games of all time.
I've been waiting for you to say Outlast like this entire time. I'm like, hey, when's it coming?
Next Sunday for Halloween, I'm doing a live stream where I'm playing through Outlast, Outlast Whistleblower, and Outlast 2, the entire Outlast trilogy.
That's
in one sitting? You're going to do
one sitting? One sitting.
That's amazing.
Because I love the first... Like, the thing is, Outlast Whistleblower is a fun DLC, but it lacks the charm of the first one, and I think the level design is fucking horrendous.
I like it better than the whole second game, honestly.
Yeah.
I think the second game is a scarier game than the first, the first game in Whistleblower, but the story fucking sucks, and it's jumpy as batshit. The level design as well, garbage, and it's just, you know, elongated chase sequence the game. And it doesn't have any... Like, even the first game, when it had that linear structure to it, there was that hide and seek sort of nature to it, whereas Outlast 2 is just run and hide. But it's not even hiding, you're just running. There's no hiding or trying to run the game around. Like, I will never forget the section where you have to turn the sprinkler system on and Chris Walker is coming after you, where you turn the valve on in the fucking locker room, then you have to hide behind a fucking laundry basket or whatever it is while he comes through the door and have to make a beeline. That insane mode trophy, trying to beat it on insane mode, which is a permadeath, I have never beaten because it just fucks me at the worst moments every time. I get stuck in like a glitch on like a lip in a fucking sidewalk out in the courtyard section every time, and it pisses me off. But no, Outlast is a game that while I can speedrun it in like 1 hour easily, and there's actually a really funny glitch that if you play it on normal, nightmare, or whatever the fuck, not insane though, because you need the checkpoint. If you jump over the hedges on PC, when you enter the asylum, if you jump over the hedges, over the fucking wall, you will fall through the map and spawn into the laboratory section at the end of the game.
That's nuts.
Holy shit.
And you can speedrun the game for that reason in 8 minutes.
That's crazy.
Are you going to do that on your stream?
No, because I'll be playing it on PS4 because OBS doesn't like me streaming PC games at the moment for some reason. Yeah, so I purchased the Trinity on console.
Well, before we get any further, does anyone else have Outlast?
No, I came close to being my list though, but I
knew
love
Brett
Outlast.
would.
All right, Brett,
knew
you go
Brett would.
next then.
Yeah, may as well continue on. It's spoiler alert. It's my number one pick too. Easily my favorite horror game of all time. It blows everything else on this list out of the water. There's nothing in my mind that is scarier, creepier, has better like boss design, a better setting, the score. I literally have that on my playlist of
so
scores. Just the strings, everything about it, the chase music, the eerier stuff, the stuff when you're like Dr. Traeger and everything. Just there's so many memorable pieces in a 4-hour game. It's so hard to even comprehend how they made such a masterful horror game in such a short period of time on such a low budget. Red Barrels could not have done a better job. It's sad to me that they weren't able to replicate that magic yet in my mind with Whistleblower or 2. But I'm hoping that Outlast Trials looks like it's really going to bring us back to the glory days of the first Outlast. I've played it more times than I've cared to count. I can't say enough good things about Outlast. Again, my favorite horror game of all time. It's what really got me into playing more horror games. And I agree with everything Patrick said, and that just throw my name on the list too. I'll sign the bottom with him in blood.
I just want to mention as well, how good would Outlast be as a fucking movie?
I know. I had that pick when I was on with Zach.
Jake
and who was it that
Gyllenhaal as
time?
Miles
Video
Upshoot?
game movies.
Benedict
was it
Cumberbatch
Ren?
as Traeger.
It was Ren and me. It was for our podcast, right?
I think
Cumberbatch
it was
as
for
Traeger.
the Geeks of the Round Table. It was video game movies that we want to see. My number one pick was Outlast, and it still remains
it would
that way
be
because it would be so easy to
good.
do. It's
It
nuts how
literally
they
be
haven't.
what is it? It would be literally I spit on what is it? I spit on your grave or something? Literally just in the sense of like a fucking asylum.
Yeah, it's
Or
nuts.
something.
But
It would be so
crazy.
easy to make. And one thing I got to say as well about the first Outlast game that separates it from being so much better than Outlast 2, Outlast has that charm of everything regarding the character is it's a voiceless protagonist and you are thinking and you are the character. That's one of the reasons why I get pulled back from first-person games like Resident Evil 7 and 8 as well, because
and 2 has that, right? 2 has the talk.
You have a voice character.
Yeah, it does. As whatever the I don't remember.
I don't even remember his name.
But when he voices going fuck, Lynn, the entire time, it takes you out because we're already thinking that, and when his vocabulary is purely dumbed down to fuck and Lynn, it just doesn't seem realistic either. But the first game and even the Whistleblower DLC, the part of the charm was learning about the character, the lore, and the story was picking up documents. And then also reading his thoughts through the notes that you record with your camera. It made you want to grab every collectible as well because you wanted to know more about this character that you are playing as, but you feel like you are this character because when you read the notes, it's like, this is what I am feeling at the same time. Outlast, the best way I can describe it is literally an exploitation horror game. It's literally an exploitation horror into a game.
You cannot fight back. You cannot do anything. And like you said, too, the lore, that's another thing I forgot to mention. It goes so much deeper than it needed to. And it is so good. Outlast it is so well written. It's so creative and inventive.
I will never forgive Outlast 2 for having a big piece of its lore and its fucking story separated to a single fucking note hidden on the side of a riverbank in a fucking sleeping bag 3/4 of the way through the game that you can miss without a fucking shred, no matter how hard you look.
It's nuts, I know.
But that's all. That's a lot. But honestly, Patrick, that's an issue with a lot of horror games. Resident Evil 8 has the same fucking issue.
Don't get me started, man. The final boss of Resident Evil 8, it's a joke with the Resident Evil 8 final boss.
It's not even the boss. It's just like that's another podcast for another time.
Another podcast.
I've never beaten an Outlast game.
Really?
Purely because they're too scary.
Yeah, you're joining me and Patrick for Outlast Trials. You're joining me and Patrick.
All four of us, man.
I was going to say Trials is co-op. The whole thing, right?
It's a 4-player co-op.
Cross-platform.
I think it is. Yeah,
okay.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, we're all playing.
So
there
we go. We got the team right here.
I will try it. But if I get separated, I will not move. I will not move. I will stand right where
Zach,
I'm at.
And you can hold on to my hand, okay?
We'll hold hands.
Because my friend made me play that.
Control Zach and make sure he's the bait the entire time.
No.
Because Zach, go get that key over there, Zach. Go get that key for us.
Yeah, because
I promise there's nothing
my
there.
friend made me play Phasmophobia, but I didn't know what it was. So I had my headphone. I had the headphones on. I'm playing it. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? And he goes, it's like that game Home. You just walk around and find clues. I said, okay. So I'm walking around, blah, 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 blah. And something grabs me, and I screamed so fucking loud. I said, nope, done. Never playing it.
Oh
Said, "I'm
my
done."
god. No,
So-
Outlast is fucking terrifying. I mean, just the moment-to-moment gameplay is just full of dread and tension the
It's
entire time.
insane.
The second
Yeah.
one, though, I will say, I was bored. That's why
It's
Yeah,
not
I
as good. It just isn't.
Yeah.
It's like Patrick was saying. It was just.
I think
chase
it
the
started
game.
out really good. I thought it started
Yeah.
out really
Yeah,
good.
it
but
started
then
off very strong.
I
Yeah.
thought after I think an hour and a half, I was just like,
Yeah.
The
this is-
villains as well aren't as memorable. The bosses,
No. And the setting
like,
overall just
Marta
it
gets
doesn't
killed
work.
by a flying cross. Val, the
Yeah.
transgender who literally rapes you in the catacombs, just dies off screen.
Oh, I
I'm gonna
didn't see
call
that.
him Ferrator because he's essentially Ferrator, Lard, and whatever the hell. Nick and Lard literally die from being pulled to their death by his own minions. It's so fucking
Yeah.
pathetic, and they're literally dumbed down to one sequence, which was my biggest issue with Resident Evil Village, because every boss is dumbed down to their own one sequence, whereas Marta kind of appears in the first third of the game, like at the very beginning as the first enemy you really come across, but then you realize, oh, just come around the little dunny and then go under the fucking fence, you're fine. And then that sequence, which I will admit is terrifying, way to push the carriage, that makes me shit my pants every time. But then she doesn't appear again until the very end of the game through that chase sequence when you get Lynn and she's like in labor. What the fuck? And the big villain of the game, Papa Noth, appears, I count, twice in the entire game. In
man.
two
Such a missed
cutscenes.
opportunity.
You
Dude.
just need to make a separate video on why that game sucks.
Dude,
That-
dude, here's the thing, man. I was so hyped for that game because I love religion and cult-based horror. Game always scared me. I actually have not beaten the game, although I do want to get to it. It just never frightened me like the original game did. Never did.
No,
The
it
school
definitely doesn't.
sections with the molestation monster make me laugh. Just,
Oh
it's
my
literally
God.
lick your tongue, except with all these little grabby hands.
Yeah. That was actually those portions in that school in that like whole backstory thing. That's my favorite part of the game. It's the only part
but
I
that's
actually
such
find.
The
Filler.
the school sections.
It's the-
Yeah, I love
yeah,
those parts.
it's the only part that actually emulates what I
Yeah.
loved about the first one. The rest is just I hate it. It's not. I was so
Yeah.
disappointed. I was so anticipating it with my
I
love
could
of the
do an
first
entire
one.
video
So
on
let
why
down.
Outlast 2 fucking sucks.
Oh
right,
man,
we're
I was
doing it
hyped
then.
for that game as well.
We're all coming back for it.
you guys can do it. I have nothing to say. Let's see. Austin.
All right, so my number one. So I'm gonna grab a copy like Patrick, except this is actually my number one. Resident Evil 2, the remake.
There we go.
I cannot
I'm
tell
gonna
you
go grab
guys.
my copy of my number one then.
This was my number one game of 2019. Yeah, there you go. I have been in this game countless times. I tried to stream it during lockdown, but unfortunately, my internet connection at the time did not support a wireless connection, so I have to get back to it. But the game is, I mean, sure, I could have had Silent Hill 2 as my number one, but I wanted something that is more fun. And Silent Hill 2 is a fun game, but this is so much fun. I love the atmosphere, the way. Now, Resident Evil 2, the original game, I love the original game. Do not get me wrong. They took everything about, I think, the original and improved upon it here, like the better graphics, sure, but how they took Resident Evil 4's over the shoulder style gameplay, and because you have to imagine that was tough to do, because a lot of the stuff from the original they relied on the fixed camera angles, the sound cues, but here you have to really put everything onto your visuals and everything else.
That
and
train sequence at the end.
Oh, the
Oh
train
my
part
god,
is
with
is
Birkin
insane.
just eating up the fucking train. Just,
Yeah.
Yes.
And by the way, play the game with the original soundtrack. It actually
It's
makes
so
it even better. I mean,
it's so
the-
good.
Yeah, I mean, the score they made for the remake is really good, but when you hear
classic score's
the
better.
intense like dun dun dun, like when you're trying to get through the
Mhm.
sections, I was like, holy crap, this is actually terrifying. Mr. X, it's like a quiet place right there. Every
Yeah.
time I've been hiding in a safe room, I hear the I'd be like, just get away, please, get away.
I'm that asshole who kind of waits. I kind of lure him over to a door. I wait for him to come through, and he kind of gets stun locked walking through a door for a second. So I'll just fucking run under his arm, and I'll just run past him.
God.
But you know what? Did you know that you can beat RE2 Remake without killing a single enemy,
Really?
even bosses?
Just run past them.
Claire's A campaign because you do not kill the final form of Birkin, and there are no other bosses. You don't encounter the alligator. You don't kill the tyrant. You don't have to kill a single enemy or boss, and I have done it. It is fucking hard, though.
I was about to say, it was like,
the
how did you
Ivies,
do that?
save your flashbangs for the Ivies. Otherwise, they are going to kill you in one shot, and it's a nightmare to get through.
Oh my! I was about to say, how many tries did that take? Or how many hours? Oh my god!
One attempt, and it took me an hour and 12 minutes.
Wow.
I thought that was way longer. Oh my!
That's nuts. Yeah.
I love Resident Evil 2. I played that remake for the first time last year, and I really loved it. I still haven't played the third remake yet. But I really dug what 2 was.
It's fine. 3, it's just like Jake Baldini described it best. Resident Evil 2 is like a fine wine. 3 is like a margarita. It's a fun time, but you just it's fine.
Best section is the Drain Demos section.
I don't know.
I
don't know anything about 3. I don't know about
out of the
anything
original.
Oh, I
wasn't that
just
like a huge issue?
Okay. Yeah, they
cut
did
out like
cut
big
out
sections of the original. And
Yeah,
that's why a
there's
lot
no
of people are
clock tower
super pissed
sequence.
off.
There's no worms. There's there's no hunter.
That's why I'm going to tell you right now. That was the biggest complaint I read everyone saying was how much they cut out. I guarantee you 4.
Yeah, me too.
Because 3, I think they cut out shit to get the game out. 4, I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, 4. That's the reason we don't have 4 yet.
Because
Also,
it's gonna have everything.
Yeah,
but it's gonna have everything. Like
everything, and
I
maybe
think
then some.
they know if they fuck up 4. If they fuck up 4,
that'll be a cardinal sin if they fuck up 4.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, if they fuck up 4, I'm done with Capcom and Resident Evil because I've been disappointed by 7. I've been disappointed with Village. I loved
2.
I love 2, but 3 again disappointed me, and we also had 5, which is a good co-op game.
It's fun with friends.
It's not a good single player game. RE6 just fucking sucks. We have not had a good Resident Evil game, like a genuinely amazing Resident Evil game, since 4.
I agree. Okay. Although I do think that
Revelations 2 is good.
That's why
Revelations 1
I think they're overrated.
Sucks.
I think Revelations is so overrated.
I liked Revelations 2. I like seeing the return of my baby boy Barry Burden.
Jeez, the bees.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think 2 and 4 are my favorite Resident Evil games. 2 Remake actually. Remake I have played that game countlessly. The soundtrack is great. They bring back the campy B dialogue voice acting to it. And Leon's great. I love. The strange thing is when I played 2 for the first time again, I forgot you had to do Claire's campaign followed by Leon's campaign. So I actually, what I did was that I did Leon A, Claire B. I did Leon A, Claire A, and then I was like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's right. Then I did Claire A and then Leon B, and everything lined up so well. And Nemesis in 3 Remake was just annoying, I thought.
He's also all very scripted. He doesn't have the same presence as Mr. X, which is really frustrating.
A lot of people are really pissed off about that too.
Without a doubt, Nemesis is scarier than Mr. X.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is
so much fucking scarier.
I agree.
So much scarier.
Yeah, like Resident Evil 2, it's not just scary, but it's fun. Yep. It's like you could put countless hours of that game. You could probably Patrick, you could speed run the fuck out of that game.
Yep.
The chess piece puzzle though can suck my balls. Every fucking time I forget what the combination is, and I literally am like, oh, fucking pause. I can't be bothered figuring out the riddle, and I just fucking Google it because I'm just.
Oh my god,
I hate
man! Can you remember back in the day when we couldn't use fucking Google?
Yeah,
all these goddamn puzzles.
Just didn't play the games. You just didn't finish it.
The cat eye puzzle. The cat eye puzzle at the church in RE4.
Oh god, yeah, using those game games like tips and tricks and Game Informer, like when you actually had to get the magazine itself. And I was like. All that, but like I could praise RE2 Remake and all that, but to me, I think that is the game I'm gonna be playing. Well, I think that in Silent Hill 2 will be playing on Halloween, but I think Resident Evil 2 is just a perfect game. I think it's a masterpiece of survival horror and how they improved upon every aspect in the original game, which I love to no end. But they did a near impossible task.
I will say, aside from the fact that the Claire A and Leon B campaigns are essentially the same. which is really fucking annoying. Where when you play the original, if you pick up this thing of ammo, and if you pick up this herb, it will not appear in the Claire B or Leon B playthrough. Whereas if you choose not to pick it up, it will be there in the B campaign.
That's true, yeah.
But they make everything easier nowadays. That's just the truth.
I know, but it just felt more like a fleshed out, coherent narrative rather than just playing the same events again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this doesn't really feel like a B campaign.
Yep, for sure. But all right, I guess I'll get to my number one, and my number one is Dead Space 2.
Nice.
There we go. There it is.
There
One
it
of
is.
the scariest, most intense horror games I have ever played in my entire life, with a brilliant story. I really enjoy the first Dead Space, but my first thing coming out of that was, I don't give a fuck about Isaac. I don't care about anything going on. This is just a scary, intense game. Come the second game, I didn't pick it up first day, I remember, and I was like, I'll grab it eventually. I finally grabbed it like a while after, and I'm like, this game is fucking brilliant. The story, the eyeball sequence when it's the drone right above your eye.
So intense.
The whole game is amazing, and it became one of my favorite games of all time. Sadly, the third game sucks. So I've never beaten it. I never will. I think it's boring, and so it sucks on that part. I wish I could love 3 as much as I do 2, but this is one of the best horror games you could ever play. It's one of my favorite games to play on Halloween, and I think every game we've mentioned, if you're looking for just something to pop in and play, you're gonna find something here for fun. Whether it's something
a healthy list here,
especially Saw 2, Flesh and Blood.
That's gonna be a record. Getting kicked out 3 times and
get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
This is.
We're done.
Dude, there's actually 4 games I have that didn't make my list. I actually do want to talk about them really quick if I can.
Yeah. Let's go through real fast. This is our outro. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let everyone know where you guys can find them at, and also lay out an honorable mention. Patrick, I'm going to fucking strangle you.
So I actually have 5
Austin,
mentions.
real fast, let them know where they can find you at.
So you can find me Twitter, Instagram. Patrick is just trolling you at this point, man.
I love it.
At Instagram and Twitter, you can find me Austin P. Putnam on both Instagram and Twitter, and that's pretty much it.
What are your honorable mentions? Like, I'm sure there's something that makes
I have 2. I actually have 3 unconventional picks. One I guarantee you guys haven't heard of. Bioshock is one of my picks. Five Freddy'S 2 is another pick. I love It's actually my favorite one. Dead by Daylight's another pick. I'm gonna go with Doom Eternal as honorable mention because I love Doom. Then Unconventional Brutal Legend. It has a very spooky vibe to it. I love it. And the other pick, I guarantee you guys, it's actually a Flash game that came out on Newgrounds ages ago, but it's a game called Ex Mortis. It came out like early 2000s, something like that. You could beat the game literally in 15-20 minutes if you know what you're doing. And there's a part in the game that legitimately gave me nightmares I couldn't sleep. It was that terrifying. It actually used the designer of the game used actual EVP recordings while making the game too. Fun fact, but it's a really cool game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Brett, where can they find you at, man?
Cool. Yeah. Firstly, I just want to say thank you to Zach for inviting me on here. It's been an absolute blast, and I always appreciate it. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff at BamTube TV. I also want to say to Austin and Patrick, it was awesome getting to chat with you guys and meet you for the first time. You guys are. It was a lot of fun, honestly, and it was so cool. We've had little interactions on Twitter and stuff. Yeah. So it was so fantastic to actually get to meet you guys and chat it up and stuff. And as for honorable mentions, I didn't have any because I went into this list being like, this is going to be easy, and then I started doing it and I was like, this is fucking hard. But I ended up whittling it down to just the solid 10, so there are no honorable mentions for me.
All right. Fair enough. Patrick, where can they find you at, man? And what do you have any honorable mentions?
So you can find me over on YouTube, which is just my name, Patrick Burrow, which you can see on the screen right now, as well as on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, which I'm sure will be linked down in the bio. I'll probably just send them to Zach anyway because they're a little more complicated than I care to admit. When it comes to my honorable mentions, though, this was a really hard list to put together because there were so many games I wanted to incorporate. First of all, it's not a horror game, but a perfect Halloween game to play with friends, in particular, like backseat gaming style. The birth of The Binding of Isaac.
I've heard good things about that one.
Good pick. Good
Binding of Isaac.
Underrated.
Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs.
Sure, someone will be mad that we didn't mention those.
Dude, the
Rebirth
original game is terrifying.
Yeah.
Rebirth sucks, or whatever it was fucking called. But Amnesia: The Dark Descent is one of the scariest games that I've ever fucking played.
Yeah.
It's actually a game I've never fucking completed since my first ever playthrough because it scared the living shit out of me. And Machine for Pigs, look, a lot of people don't like that game. I think it's still fucking great. I still really enjoy that game. Last of Us 1 and 2, they're definitely on there.
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead 2 would definitely be on there. And you know what?
Yeah.
This is a little bit of an unconventional one, but I'm going to put Gary's mod. Why?
Why? I love that.
Because their scary maps are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The Gary's mod scary map stuff is some of the most fun there's some of the most fun moments I've ever had playing video games with my mates because of the scary maps. Some of them are genuinely terrifying. So yeah, throw Gary's mod on there for fuck's sake. I don't care.
It's so much fun.
There you go.
Gmod.
There you go.
It is.
There you go,
It
man.
is.
Well, those are my guests. They are also all into the film space as well. So go make sure to go follow them. Again, I'll put all their links down below. I'm going to have them send me whatever they want shown down below.
Especially these two handsome gentlemen.
Yeah,
Not
and just
me,
a
though.
big thank you to them for joining me. Again, Christian and Leo couldn't attend this, but it was still a blast to be able to talk you guys best horror games. So for me, you guys can find me also on Zach Pope on YouTube. Just type that in. You'll find it. I do have some honorable mentions. Metroid Dread, I guess, would be a good one. But Metro Exodus, I think, is a fantastic game.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good one.
Red Dead Redemption, the zombie expansion.
Undead Nightmare, yes.
Undead Nightmare
so
is
good.
great. And honestly, survival game, the first Tomb Raider remake, I think, is a great little game to play if you want to have something
I
unique.
can see that.
So, other than that, guys, my name is Zach. We got Brett, Austin, and of course Patrick here. I'm gonna fucking kill you. And you guys can't see it if you're listening to us, but he keeps showing this dumb Saw game that is absolutely terrible, and I really recommend that you never play it.
Yeah, don't. It's fucking awful. By the way, this game's discontinued, and I spent $60 to find it.
Here we go. Silent Hill HD collection.
What's wrong with
There
you?
go.
See, but now what you should do is sell it, Patrick, and get your money back.
No,
Yeah,
because I'm going to
idea.
keep that as a cathartic thing to say I completed it.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Well, there we
trophy
go,
board.
guys.
One for
Thank
punishment
you.
over here.
Yeah. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and keep playing games.